Crac. This is the story of the ancient one who lived in the heights, who walking through the forest never met his like. At that same time morning broke bright gold, and the moon, unable to get away, stayed to look, together with a little bit of night, towards the western edge of the world. The child cried as his mother's labour was done. She, through her tears, could see two great globes on either side of the sky, the sun in gold to the east rising, and the moon in silver waning to the west. "A traveller," said the old woman, "he will walk across the world." The seasons came and went. The boy grew without name. In good time they felled a giant tree, and with tools of stone made a great corral, and set out for the land of the hummingbird, which they called Airi. Waves like giant green horses beat the air. Foam flicking in their hair, the men in the long canoe shot their craft like an arrow through the waves towards the beach, carved in white, out of the green hillsides, ever rising into mammoth shapes beneath a blanket of deep green. He looked around and saw he was alone in the plunging sea. Boat, old woman, men, bags, mother, yam, alap, all gone. Great breakers tossed him onto the sand. He saw no one. He walked all day and rested. Rising early, the sun to his back, he followed the coast quite alone. Sometimes as he strode across a sandy beach, just keeping pace with his own shadow, he would say, "It is I," and so I became his name. The days went by. They had become dry, so hot that the rivers and pools grew small. The trees with few leaves became gaunt with the heat that felt that it would explode. It did. Huge fires bellowed through the forest, driving all but the trees before it. In the terror of their inferno, they stood rooted to the spot, flaming branches tossing in the wind, tongues of flame. He felt their pain as keenly as he had marvelled at their majesty and great age. I ran screaming to the sea in fright. I spent the night at the water's edge. But as day dawned, he thought to himself, "Why should I be afraid? Is it not all the same, and I not one with everything, both the fire and the inflamed?" After that I would catch a glimpse of a form reflected in a mountain pool, interspersed with stones and leaves that lay on the bottom. Sometimes in the sky, or mixed between trees, a darting bird, a cloud, he would glimpse a passing shape. He was not afraid. He knew that all was endless reflections of himself upon the earth and in the sky. Birds, animals, and trees enjoyed the interest that I took in them. And as the years went by, I became their guardian and friend, mending broken wings and broken bones, standing godfather for the many young creatures who found themselves orphaned, creating a lasting bond between mankind and the children of the earth. And the more he stretched his hand in kindness to the creatures, the more he became blessed. Fortune and wisdom were his constant companions, and I forged a living link between heaven above and the earth beneath. Wisest and swiftest of creatures of this land was the hummingbird, bright, flighty, jewel of the forest. The bird, she became eyes, ears, and I became a hummingbird. Brightly balanced above a shining, streaming mountain pool, the sun turning his speeding wings from red to green and back to red again, I saw below a wondrous sight. Basking beautiful she lay, her upper body as finely made as eyes, but from her waist she had a fish's shape, long and slight. Swift as light I landed and turned to mortal form. Startled, the creature dived into the pool. I followed, and much to his delight, there were many, many of her kind. Strange, beautiful, always swift and silent, they swam just out of his grasp, elusive as a half-remembered daydream, a smell of flowers and mountain pools. Time and again, I would find himself in the river of the ladies, the madames, as he called them, the ladies of this bay, ever singing silent songs on still afternoons, sitting on the water's edge in the sunlight, lingering for a golden moment, a flash of green gone, nothing but a big Mont Bleu rising in the sunbeams. Did you see a fish jump? Yes, but it did not go back in again. The world went by. I, the only dreamer on the scene, was sharply etched against all horizons. I became all things. I called many things by their names: Tukush, Tagarib, Aruka, Karuni, so to be known ever after. I walked across mountains and savannas, north, south, east, west, and wherever he went, he made a name for himself. Some of these names still remain. Once I became a tree, a great immortal, towering into the sky. Papa Bois, he called that wood, a big rise. What is the most precious, the most fragile? He asked the bird, buzzing in his vermilion branches. Timari, Timari, the hummingbird replied. And as morning broke, the puis shocked into yellow, and a rolling stone came to a stop. For Papa Bois had come to hear a great immortal in full bloom, standing on the top of El Tukush. He cried, Timari, where is she? What you say? Said the bird, busy with her nest. What you say, she say? Timari, which part she living? Said he, as he bellowed through his branches. But she flew away, the wind, she thought, willy-nilly blowing. Stop so, said he, as he hurried on his way. And to this day, Kiskidi says the Kiskidi. Elijah Bless stepped from a great mahogany. Hoy, she said, in a Bajan accent, like you step so fine. Which parts you going, brother mine? A looking for Timari, said I, starting about him. The forest had grown cold, evening drawing near. Like you're going fast, sit down now, take a 5. Now she sounded as though she came from George Street, Port of Spain. He looked about him and saw a play of energy. More, a pale grey form, 2 burning eyes, rising breast, desire. Who you? He asked. I am the pain of future years, she answered, quite plainly in a man's voice, stepping out with her cloven hoof from behind the mahogany, the sound of a chain rustling in her petticoats. Then go back where you come from, he shouted. You're lucky you'll get away, answered the Lajables, are looking for a tree to climb. With the wind in his branches, Papa Bois hurried through the night. As morning soared across the sky, he found her, shy and fragile, a pink puff, leaves closing at his touch, the dew sparkling on her thorn. They grew together side by side, and ever after have blossomed in the same seasons. This beautiful eyrie, this land of plenty, rivers, mountains, fresh and unspoiled, land of creatures, monkey, lion, fish, serpent and doves, huge matapal and great boa constrictor. Its forests stretch from shore to shore, mora tall, big crapo and hogplum, yellow pui and giant silk cotton trees. Sometimes a hawk stops still as if painted in the blue sky. swift hummingbirds, little timari, palmy's palms reaching out from the forest floor through the tops of the tall, thick covering trees to stand out far like isolated mass, their branches trailing in the wind, long streaming yellowtail bird nests. And all around us are pressed our many seas. We, like a junction in the world, Trinidad, the source of many a distant shore. Above and below, I reflected in the sea and sky, smiling, sparkling through the leaves on a windy day. There in the river, water running, the cloudy mountain tops, standing like the great trees. I am this land, until one day, not even I knew when I was not there anymore. Cric!
Crac.